Hello Bookish friends, welcome to another tag video. In this Tag Tuesday, I'm going to do the frustrating book tag. I was tagged by Emily at Novels for this tag about 1.5 months ago. I really like the questions in this tag because some of them are not the usual ones that we mostly do in tags. The first question is, name a book you predicted would be 5 stars but wasn't. I have to say I usually do not predict if a book would be a 5-star book because a 5-star, a 10 out of 10 is very rare for me. But I can say that I was almost sure that I would give at least 9 out of 10 to A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens because it has the best opening line ever, in my opinion. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. And I also had read a graphic novel version of this classic when I was in elementary school. I remember enjoying the story very much. I enjoyed the story actually, but I have to say I didn't enjoy the writing style of Charles Dickens. So many descriptions and I have to say a very uneven tempo. Instead of 9 out of 10, I gave this book a 7 out of 10. Question 2. What book had a great beginning but an ending that let you down? Last Letter from Istanbul by Lucy Foley. Although I gave this book an 8 out of 10, in the first half of the book I was almost sure that I would give this book 10 out of 10. But ending, although it made sense a lot in my opinion, was a bit anticlimactic, and the great emotional bond that I felt with the characters loosened up a bit towards the end. But I still recommend this book to all historical fiction lovers, especially if you want to know more about the occupation of Istanbul after World War I. Question 3. Do you have a book with a pretty cover but an ugly spine? I cannot say that it's ugly, but it's very ordinary. This edition of Empedoklas'ın Dostları by Amin Maluf. The cover is very pretty and also very relevant to the book, considering the lively colors in this cover. Do you have a book series that doesn't match? Maybe some are paperback and some are hardcover, or maybe the cover designs were changed halfway through the series. Does it bother you? First of all, I do not have many physical books, as most of you know, and most of them are not belonging to a series. And the ones belonging to a series actually do match their cover. But I will show the books from a single author, Jane Austen. I have 5 of Jane Austen novels with this cover, blue one, with the girl in the cover. And here is Emma, which also belonged to this cover series. But I couldn't find Mansfield Park with that cover, so I bought another edition of Mansfield Park, this one with the house on the cover. Does it bother me? No. Question 5. Is there a book from your youth you can remember parts of but cannot remember the name or find anywhere? When I was a teenager, I used to read a lot of Daniela Steele books, which were in my school's library. There was a book by her about a woman who finds out many things about her husband after his death. But I do not remember anything else about that book, so I have no idea what the title is. Question 6. Are there any books you've certain you read but cannot remember anything about? I seem to have put Thunder Heights by Phyllis A. Whitney in my Goodreads read page, but I have to say I do not remember anything about the book. Except that it's a gothic romance because the writer writes gothic romances, so it's more like an educated guess than knowing anything about the book. Question 7. Have you ever recommended a book you love to someone and they started telling you everything they don't like about it? Does it bother you? In other words, do your feelings get hurt when someone doesn't love one of your favorite books? I think hurt is a very strong word for this emotion. Of course, I feel disappointed if one of my friends doesn't like my favorite book, but it's not one of my favorites. I don't even get disappointed because everybody has their own taste and I very easily agree to disagree. Question 8. What is your worst experience loaning a book to someone? About 2 years ago, I gave 2 books to one of my work friends who actually likes to read a lot. Fortunately, during the pandemic, because he was chronically ill, he did not come to the workplace for a very long time. After he came back, I asked him about the books, and he seems to have misplaced them. I think he lost them. But he doesn't tell me. I hope he tells that he lost it, and at least suggests that he buys those books again for me, but he did not do that. I'm still waiting for a sufficient amount of time to pass so that I would ask again. Question 9. Show me some of your impulse buys that you've never read. You know the ones. The ones you bought at midnight while online shopping, or when you were walking through a bookstore and the magic of all the books made you grab a few too many. And we can't forget all those books at such a good price that somehow make it into our shopping bag. I have 3 books for this category. I think I have bought them with a gift check that was given to me by a friend in my birthday. And because they were very cheap, I bought many books, but I didn't read 3 of them. And it was 10 years ago. Books are Çilekteki Nefret, Suskun Türküler Zamanı, and IMSF. Those are all Turkish books that were written by contemporary authors. Somehow those books never go to my TBR, but maybe after doing this tag I will at least read one of them. We'll see. Question 10. Just to make you hate me a little bit more, how many unread books on your shelves? About physical books, I can gladly answer this question. I'm not really sure, I didn't count them. Probably about 40 of the unread books in the house belongs to me. The other ones that I didn't read mostly belongs to my parents, so I'm not counting them. But if you ask my Kindle library, then we have a different story and I might hate you. I did not buy all of these books in my Kindle. Some of them were freebies, and some of the books are the books that are downloaded through other websites that were sort of like a library for a small fee. But in total, I have about 500 unread ebooks, either on my Kindle or in my computer. So it's a lot. I am not sure who have done this tag, but I want to tag Nikki at Red.Reads and Becca at Hicks Books if they didn't do this tag. Please comment down below. Do you know the Danielle Steele book that I mentioned in this video? All jokes aside, I really want to know your worst experience of loaning a book to someone. If you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. As for Turkish word of the day, I'm going to choose prostrate. Prostrate means kızdırmak in Turkish, and kızdırmak is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.